The LateHFY had watched Earth for a long time. Their ship sat hidden behind the moon, studying the small blue planet and its strange people. The aliens saw humans as weak. They were soft, slow, and had no claws or fangs. The LateHFY thought they would be easy to take. Commander Yuna stood in the control room of Earth's secret defense base. She was a short woman with sharp eyes and calm hands. When the alarms started ringing, she did not panic. She had been waiting for this day her whole life. "3 ships coming down," said the young officer next to her. His name was Dohan, and his voice was shaking. "They are heading for Bizon." Yuna nodded slowly. She picked up her radio and spoke one word. "Begin." The LateHFY ships landed near the coast, just as the sun was setting. They were beautiful in a terrible way. Silver and smooth, like giant insects made of metal. The doors opened and 50 LateHFY soldiers walked out. They were tall, almost 3 meters high. Their skin was gray and hard like stone. They had 4 arms and eyes that could see heat. Each one carried a weapon that shot burning plasma. They had conquered 300 worlds. They had never lost a battle. The leader of the LateHFY soldiers was called Torvik. He looked around at the empty beach and the quiet city beyond. No humans came to meet them. No military. No leaders begging for peace. "Strange," Torvik said to his second officer. "They should be here by now. We sent our message." The message had been simple. "Give us 10,000 humans for our mines, or we will burn your cities." Every other species had given in within hours. Humans would be no different, but the beach stayed empty. The city stayed quiet. And somewhere in the trees on the hills above, Sergeant Taiho was watching. Taiho was not a big man. He was thin and patient, with eyes that missed nothing. He had 20 soldiers with him, hiding in the forest. They had no plasma guns. They had simple rifles, knives, and something the aliens could never understand. They had time. "Do not shoot," Taiho whispered into his radio. "Let them come to us. Let them walk. Let them get tired." The LateHFY waited on the beach for 1 hour. Then 2. Torvik grew angry. He ordered his soldiers to march toward the city. They would take the humans by force, but when they reached the first buildings, the streets were empty. Every person was gone. The LateHFY searched house after house and found nothing but silence. "Where are they?" Torvik shouted. His 4 hands were shaking with anger. Then one of his soldiers saw something. A human, standing at the end of a long street. It was a woman in dark clothes. She looked at them for a moment, then turned and walked away. Not running, just walking. After her. Torvik commanded. The LateHFY ran. They were fast, much faster than humans. They reached the end of the street in seconds. But the woman was gone. Instead, there was a man on a rooftop watching them. He too turned and disappeared. This happened again and again. Every time the LateHFY ran, they found another human watching from far away. And every time they chased, the human was gone. But there was always another one. Always watching. Always just out of reach. Hours passed. The LateHFY had been running and searching without rest. Their legs began to hurt. Their breathing became heavy. But the humans kept appearing. One on a hill. One in a window. One standing calmly in the middle of a road. Lieutenant June was one of these watchers. She was young, with a soft face that made her look kind. But her eyes were cold and steady. She had been tracking the aliens for 6 hours now. She was tired, but she could keep going. Humans were made to keep going. The LateHFY could not understand what was happening. They were stronger. They were faster. They had better weapons. But these humans would not stop following them. Would not stop watching. Every time the aliens tried to rest, a human face appeared in the distance. By the 10th hour, the LateHFY soldiers were falling down. Their bodies were not made for this. They were hunters who killed quickly and rested long. They did not know how to be prey. Tarvuk was the last one standing. His armor was covered in sweat and dirt. His plasma gun hung loose in his tired hands. He had not slept. He had not eaten. And still the humans watched. "What are you?" He screamed into the darkness. Sergeant Taiho stepped out of the shadows. His rifle was raised. Behind him, his 20 soldiers appeared like ghosts from the trees. "We are hunters," Taiho said simply. "The best hunters in this galaxy. We just hunt differently than you." The fight was short. The LateHFY were too tired to aim their weapons, too exhausted to run. Taiho's team took them down one by one, quick and clean. When it was over, Lieutenant June walked to Torvak's body. She picked up his communication device. It was still connected to the mothership in orbit. She could see alien faces staring at her through the screen. June smiled, but there was no warmth in it. "You came here looking for slaves," she said. "You picked the wrong planet. We are not prey. We have never been prey. We are the ones who follow. We are the ones who never stop. And now we know you exist." She dropped the device on the ground. "Start running," she said. "It will not help. But you can try." In orbit, the LateHFY mothership turned and ran toward the stars. They thought they were escaping. They did not understand yet. The hunt had only just begun. The news traveled fast through the stars. The LateHFY had lost. Not just a battle, but an entire landing force. 50 of their best soldiers, dead on a small blue planet that had not even learned to fly between stars yet. The Galactic Council met in the Great Hall on Station Prime. 1,000 species had representatives there. Some were tall and thin like trees. Some were small and covered in shells. Some floated in tanks of water or breathed through masks. But today, they were all thinking about the same thing. Humans. High Arbiter Morvith stood at the center of the hall. He was very old, and his silicon body clicked when he moved. He had seen empires rise and fall. He had watched species destroy themselves and others. But the report in his hands made him feel something he had not felt in a very long time: fear. "Tell us again," he said to the LateHFY ambassador. "Tell us exactly what happened." The ambassador was shaking. His gray skin had turned almost white. "We do not understand it ourselves. Our soldiers were stronger, faster, better armed. But the humans, they just kept following. They did not attack at first. They just watched and followed and waited. For how long?" asked another council member. 10 hours. Maybe more. They never stopped, never rested. Our soldiers collapsed from exhaustion. And then the humans killed them. The council was silent. In this galaxy, battles were won by strength and speed. The strongest species won. That was the natural law. But humans did not fight like that. Morvith called for the xenobiologists. These were the scientists who studied different species. A small creature named Velix came forward. She had spent weeks studying everything the galaxy knew about humans. "Show us," Morvith commanded. Velix put up images on the great screen. Pictures of Earth. Pictures of humans. Pictures of something that made the whole council uncomfortable. Humans evolved on a planet with many large animals, Velix explained. Animals bigger and stronger than them. Animals with claws and fangs. Animals that could kill a human easily. Then how did humans survive? Someone asked. They hunted them all, Velix said quietly. Every single one. The giant cats, the huge bears, the massive elephants. Humans killed them all. Not because they were stronger. Not because they were faster. But because they never stopped. She showed a video. A human was running across a dry, hot land. In front of him, a large animal was running away. The animal was faster, much faster, but the human just kept running. Hour after hour. The animal had to stop to rest, to cool down. But the human kept coming. Humans can sweat, Velix explained. Their bodies can release heat while running. Almost no other species in the galaxy can do this. They can run for days without stopping. They are not fast, but they are endless. The council watched as the animal in the video finally fell down from exhaustion. The human walked up to it calmly and killed it with a simple spear. They call this persistence hunting, Velix continued. And it is in their blood, their bones, their minds. They are built to follow, built to never give up. Morvith leaned forward. Is this why the Velthri lost? Yes, the Velthri are ambush hunters. They strike fast and rest long. Humans are the opposite. They strike slow and never rest. The Velthri did not know how to fight something that would not stop following them. Another council member spoke up. A being made of pure energy. Surely this is just physical. Surely we can defeat them with our technology. With our weapons. Velix shook her head. It is not just physical. It is psychological. Humans enjoy hunting. They do it for fun. They have sports where they chase animals for pleasure. They have games where they hunt each other for entertainment. Their entire culture is built around pursuit and patience. She put up one final image. It was a human face. Just an ordinary face. But the eyes were steady and calm and utterly without fear. When most species see a predator, they run or fight, Velix said. When humans see prey, they follow. And they never, ever stop. To them, we are all prey. They just have not started hunting us yet. The council erupted in worried voices. Some demanded war. Some demanded peace. Some wanted to destroy Earth before it was too late, but far away. On that small blue planet, Dr. Haijin was working in her laboratory. She was a quiet woman who liked numbers more than people. She had been studying the wreckage of the Velthri ship that fell during the battle. Their technology was advanced, but not impossible to understand. Haijin had figured out their engine in 3 weeks. By the end of the month, she had built a small model that could bend space. Admiral Dongwu visited her lab on a cold morning. He was a tall man with gray hair and eyes that had seen too many battles. He looked at her model and nodded slowly. How long until we can build real ships? He asked. 5 years, Haijin said. Maybe less if we work fast. Donghu walked to the window and looked up at the stars. Somewhere out there, aliens were talking about humanity. Deciding what to do with them. Deciding if they should live or die. He smiled. It was not a nice smile. They came here looking for slaves, he said quietly. They thought we were weak because we were soft and slow. They did not understand. Haijin joined him at the window. Understand what? That the most dangerous hunters do not look dangerous. That the best predators do not need claws or fangs. They just need patience. He turned to her. Build those ships, Doctor. Build as many as you can. The galaxy is afraid of us now. But they have not seen anything yet. Haijin nodded. She understood. Humanity had spent millions of years learning to hunt on one small planet. Now they had an entire galaxy of prey waiting for them. And humans always finished the hunt. 5 years had passed since the Velthri first came to Earth. The humans had been busy. They had built ships. They had trained soldiers. And now they were ready. The ship was called Persistence. It was not a warship. It had no big guns or missiles. It was just a transport vessel, simple and gray. But inside, it carried 200 humans who had trained for one purpose, to hunt. Captain Suman stood on the bridge. She was a woman of 40 years with short black hair and calm eyes. Beside her stood Commander Yeyuk, a quiet man who rarely smiled. They had served together for many years. They trusted each other completely. "We are entering Velthury space," Ye said. Suman nodded. "Good, let them see us." The Velthury detected them within minutes. 70 warships came rushing to meet them. The biggest was the Deathbringer, commanded by Fleet Admiral Torvin. He was the most famous warrior in the Velthury Empire. He had destroyed entire planets. He looked at the tiny human ship on his screen and laughed. "One ship," he said to his officers. "They send one ship against our fleet. These humans are more stupid than we thought." He opened a communication channel. "Human vessel, surrender now. You cannot escape. You cannot win. Give up, and we might let some of you live." Captain Suman appeared on his screen. She was smiling. It was not the smile of someone who was afraid. "We did not come to fight," she said. "We came to hunt." Before Torvin could respond, the Persistence opened its sides. 200 small pods shot out in every direction. They were not heading toward the fleet. They were heading down, toward the Velthury colony planets below. "Stop them!" Torvin shouted but the pods were too small and too fast. The warships tried to shoot them down, but most of them made it through. They landed on cities and farms and military bases all across Velthury space. Each pod contained one human. Just one. No weapons except a knife and some basic survival gear. No ship to escape in. No backup coming. Torvin watched them land and felt confused. What can 200 humans do against billions of Velthury? This makes no sense. But he would understand soon. Minji was one of the hunters. She was 25 years old, small and thin, with a face that looked almost childlike. She landed in the capital city and found her target within the first day. Regional Governor Velkros was a powerful man. He controlled 10 planets and 1,000,000 soldiers. He lived in a great palace with guards at every door. Minji did not try to enter the palace. She did not try to kill him. She just watched. On the first day, Velkros saw her standing outside his window. Just standing there, looking up at him. He called his guards, but when they went outside, she was gone. On the second day, he saw her again. This time, she was on a rooftop across the street. Still watching. Still silent. He sent soldiers to catch her. They searched for hours but found nothing. On the third day, she was inside his garden. How did she get past the walls? Past the guards? He did not know. She was just there, eating an apple, looking at him. When he screamed for help, she walked away slowly. She did not run. She never ran. Day after day, Velcro saw her. In crowds, in reflections. In the corner of his eye. She was always there. Always watching. Never speaking. Never attacking. Just following. He stopped sleeping. How could he sleep when she might be outside his window? He stopped eating. Food had no taste anymore. He stopped working. He could not think about anything except a small human woman who would not stop following him. His guards could not help. They would catch her, and she would escape. They would build new walls, and she would get past them. They would set traps, and she would avoid them. It was like trying to catch smoke with your hands. On day 22, Velcro broke. He ran out of his palace screaming. He fell on his knees in the middle of the street, crying and begging for someone to make it stop. His mind was shattered. Minji watched from a nearby roof. She wrote a note in her small book. Target broken. Moving to next assignment. Then she climbed down and disappeared into the city. This happened everywhere. 200 humans against an empire of billions. They did not fight battles. They did not blow up buildings. They just followed. They found the leaders, the generals, the important people, and they followed them until their minds broke. The Velthury tried everything. They put bounties on human heads. They created special hunting teams. They built underground bunkers where their leaders could hide. Nothing worked. You cannot hide from something that never stops looking. You cannot fight something that never attacks. You cannot kill something that is not trying to hurt you. The humans were like ghosts, like shadows, like a bad dream that would not end. Within 4 months, the Valtteri government collapsed. Leaders quit their jobs. Soldiers refused to serve. Whole cities shut down because no one would go outside. The humans had killed fewer than 50 Valtteri, but they had destroyed an empire. Admiral Torvin was the last to fall. He had locked himself in his flagship, surrounded by guards, protected by the best security in the galaxy. But one morning, he woke up to find a human woman sitting at the foot of his bed. It was Captain Suman. "How did you get in here?" he whispered. She smiled that calm, cold smile. "We are persistence hunters, Admiral. We do not need to be faster than you. We do not need to be stronger. We just need to never stop." And we never stop. Torvin closed his eyes. He finally understood. His species had spent millions of years learning to be the fastest, the strongest, the most deadly, and humans had spent millions of years learning to be the most patient. In the end, patience always won. The fall of the Valtteri Empire sent fear through the galaxy. Every species had seen what happened. 200 humans had broken a civilization that ruled 300 worlds. Not with weapons, not with armies, just with patience. 12 species came together to form the coalition. They were the most powerful races in the known galaxy. The Morvith with their silicon bodies that could live for 1,000 years. The Krell with their massive ships that could crack planets in half. The Varathi with their hive minds that thought as one. Together, they had 8,000 warships. Together, they had a plan. "We must destroy Earth," said Grand Admiral Vorax of the Krell. He was a huge creature, covered in thick scales and armed with claws that could cut through metal. Before the humans spread, before they build more ships, before it is too late. High Arbiter Morvith agreed. "We attack now, while they are still weak. One strike, and the human threat ends forever." The coalition fleet gathered at the edge of human space. 8,000 ships against fewer than 50. It would not even be a battle. It would be an execution. On Earth, Secretary General Unji received their message. She was an older woman, thin and tired, but with eyes that had seen many struggles and survived them all. She read the coalition's words carefully. "Surrender your planet and your people, or we will reduce Earth to dust. You have 1 day to respond." Her advisors panicked. Some wanted to surrender. Some wanted to run. Some wanted to fight even though they knew they would lose. Yunji sat quietly and thought. Then she smiled. Her advisors stopped talking. They knew that smile. It was not a good smile. Not for the aliens, at least. "Call Admiral Dongwu," she said, "and General Wanjin. We have work to do." The next day, the coalition waited for Earth's answer. What they got was a video message. Secretary General Yunji appeared on their screens. Behind her stood hundreds of soldiers in simple uniforms. No armor, no heavy weapons. Just calm faces and steady eyes. "You have made a mistake," Yunji said. "You told us where your home worlds are. You showed us your fleet in one place. You think you have trapped us, but you have only shown us where to hunt." Before the coalition could respond, sensors across the fleet went crazy. All over human space, ships were moving. Not toward the coalition fleet. Away from it. In every direction. Hundreds of transport vessels, scattering like seeds in the wind. General Wanjin commanded the dispersal from his flagship. He was a calm man who never raised his voice. He watched his screens as 2 million humans left Earth behind. "Target assignments confirmed," his officer reported. "All ships have their destinations. Wanjin nodded. Tell them to begin. And tell them to remember their training. This is not a war. This is a hunt. And humans always finish the hunt. Grand Admiral Vorix watched the human ships scatter with confusion. What are they doing? They are not fighting. They are running. They are not running, Morva said slowly. His ancient mind was beginning to understand. They are spreading. Each human transport ship carried 10,000 hunters. Not soldiers with weapons. Hunters with training. They knew how to track, how to follow, how to wait. They had studied every coalition species. They knew their weaknesses, their fears, their breaking points, and now they were heading to every coalition homeworld. Vorix made his decision. Continue the attack on Earth. Whatever they are planning, we can stop it once their planet is gone. The coalition fleet descended on Earth like a wave of fire. The battle lasted 3 days. The humans fought back, but they were too few and too weak. City after city burned. Billions of people died. When it was over, Earth was covered in ash and ruins. The coalition celebrated their victory. They had destroyed the human homeworld. They had won, but General Wanjin watched the destruction from far away, and he did not cry. He had expected this. Planned for it, even. They think they have won, he said to his officers. They do not understand. Earth was just a planet. A place. Humans are not a place. Humans are an idea. And you cannot burn an idea. Across the galaxy, human hunters were already landing on coalition worlds. On the Krell homeworld, a hunter named Junho found Grand Admiral Vorix's family. He did not hurt them. He just watched them, followed them, let them see him in the shadows. Within a week, Vorix was begging the coalition to make peace. Any peace. Just make the watching stop. On the Morvith homeworld, a team led by a woman named Sujin began following the leaders of their government. The Morvith lived for 1,000 years. They were patient by nature, but humans were more patient. Sujin followed one Morvith elder for 6 months without rest. On the last day, the elder shattered into pieces from pure fear. On the Vorathi homeworld, the hunters found a weakness no one had expected. The Vorathi shared one mind. They felt what each other felt. So when the humans scared one of them, all of them felt the fear. Within 2 months, the entire Vorathi species refused to leave their hives. One by one, the coalition worlds fell. Not to bombs or armies or weapons. They fell to fear. To the knowledge that somewhere out there, a human was watching, following, waiting. Coalition had killed 4 billion humans on Earth. It was the worst crime in galactic history. But now, every coalition species understood something terrible, that they had not killed the humans. They had only made them angry, and an angry human was a patient human. A focused human. A human who would never, ever stop until the hunt was finished. The coalition had won the battle for Earth, but they had already lost everything else. Secretary-General Yunji was among the dead. But before she died, she had sent one final message to the scattered human ships. They took our home, so take theirs. Not with fire, not with hate. Just follow them. Watch them. Never let them forget that we are out there. Make them understand that running is useless. Make them understand that the hunt never ends. 200 years had passed since Earth burned. The galaxy was a different place now. The old coalition was gone. The old empires were gone. In their place was something new. Something that no one had expected. Humans were everywhere. Ambassador Jie walked through the great hall of the new Galactic Council. She was a tall woman with silver hair and kind eyes. Around her, beings from 1,000 worlds worked together. Some were trading. Some were arguing. Some were laughing at jokes that crossed the barriers of language and species. And among them, Always. There were humans. Human merchants selling goods from distant stars. Human scientists working in laboratories beside alien colleagues. Human children playing with the children of species that had once tried to destroy them. This was the future that no one had predicted. After Earth fell, everyone expected revenge. They expected the humans to burn worlds, to kill billions, to make the coalition suffer for what they had done. The galaxy prepared for the worst war in history, but the war never came. Instead, the humans just stayed. They landed on coalition worlds and refused to leave. They built homes next to alien cities. They opened shops in alien markets. They married alien partners and had strange, wonderful children. And always, they watched the old coalition leaders could not escape. Wherever they went, humans followed. If they moved to new planets, humans moved with them. If they hid in bunkers, humans waited outside. Not attacking, not threatening, just present. Always present. How can you live like this? Grand Admiral Vorax had screamed at a human traitor 30 years after Earth's fall. How can you smile at us, work with us, live beside us? We killed your world. We killed billions of your people. The traitor, a young woman named Era, had looked at him with calm eyes. We know, she said. We will never forget, and we will never leave. Your grandchildren will see our faces. Your great-grandchildren will see our faces. 1,000 years from now, humans will still be here, watching. Vorax had died shortly after, broken not by violence, but by the simple knowledge that escape was impossible. Now, 2 centuries later, his descendants sat in the new Galactic Council. They were friends with humans, partners with humans. Some of them were married to humans, but they never forgot. Nobody forgot Ambassador Gia took her seat beside the Morvath representative. He was a descendant of the old High Arbiter, the one who had ordered the attack on Earth. His name was Talvin, and he was young for his species, only 300 years old. Ambassador, he said politely. Another successful session. It was, Gia agreed. The trade agreements will help everyone. Talvin was quiet for a moment. Then he asked the question that his ancestors had asked for 200 years. How did you do it? Gia raised an eyebrow. Do what? When? How did your species go from primitives to this? He gestured at the council hall, at the humans everywhere, at the galaxy that now belonged to them in every way that mattered. You lost your home. You were scattered across the stars with nothing. And now you run everything. Gia considered the question. She had been asked it many times. She always gave the same answer. We did not conquer you, she said. We just followed. Wherever you went, we went. Whatever you built, we built beside you. You tried to run from us. You tried to hide from us. You tried to fight us. But you could never escape us. She leaned forward, and Talvin saw something old in her eyes. Something that had been passed down from human to human since the first hunters walked the plains of Earth. We are persistence predators, she continued. We do not need to be faster than you. We do not need to be stronger. We do not need better weapons or bigger ships. We just need to never, ever stop. Talvin felt a chill run through his silicon body. Even now, even as a friend and ally, the truth of human nature made him uncomfortable. And you chose not to destroy us, he said. Even after what we did to Earth. We thought about it, Jihei admitted. Many wanted revenge. But we decided something better. We decided to stay. To live beside you. To make you part of us and ourselves part of you. Destruction ends things. Integration lasts forever. She smiled, and it was warm but also sad. You burned our planet, killed 4 billion of our people. And now look around. In 200 years, we have grown from 8 billion to 300 billion. We are on 10,000 worlds. We are in every government, every market, every family. Your great-grandchildren have human blood in their veins." Talvin looked around the council hall. She was right. Everywhere he looked, he saw humans. And everywhere he looked, he saw the results of human integration. Half-human children. Human art on the walls. Human music playing softly. Human ideas shaping every discussion. They had not conquered the galaxy. They had simply become the galaxy. And no one could separate them out anymore, even if they wanted to. "You should be grateful," Jihei said softly. "We could have done much worse. We could have hunted you to extinction, the way our ancestors hunted the great beasts of Earth. Instead, we decided you were worth keeping." Talvin nodded slowly. He understood now. Humanity had not forgiven the Coalition for destroying Earth. They had simply decided that revenge was less satisfying than survival, less permanent than spreading, less complete than making themselves impossible to remove. The greatest hunters do not always kill their prey. Sometimes they absorb it, become part of it, make it part of them. And in the end, there is no difference between hunter and hunted. There is only the hunted self, going on forever. Jie stood to leave. Before she went, she put a hand on Talvin's shoulder. 200 years ago, your ancestors thought they had beaten us when they burned Earth. They did not understand that humans cannot be beaten. We do not stop. We do not rest. We do not give up, ever. She walked toward the door, then paused and looked back. The hunt never ends, Ambassador. It just changes form. Today, we hunt for trade agreements and partnerships. Tomorrow, who knows? But we will always be here, watching, following, waiting. Talvin watched her go. Around him, the council hall buzzed with activity. Humans and aliens worked together, laughed together, lived together. But underneath it all, he knew the truth. They were all still prey. They had just learned to stop running.